Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravarkacharya Stotra Shri Shrimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narum Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nasta Prayeshta Badrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. What does it mean? Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should first the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto the supermost human being who is, unto the goddess of learning who is, and unto the author of the Bhagavatam, and of the our author also. No, also, yeah. And then by regular attendance in of the, and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost, and loving service unto Who is? Who is? Who is praised with transcendental songs. Uttama shloka. You know, shloka means like song or verse, right? You like sling shloks and tell jokes. So uttama shloka. Uttama means, right? You knew that? So uttama shloka means who's praised with the topmost songs. So that's, and what is that? It's established as Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Bhakti is established, Bhavati as Naishtiki. Fixed, as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timirandasa Gananjana Shalakaya Chakrurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. What does that mean? Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakrurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru. My obeisances offered to Guru, who's opened my eyes, which were blind from the darkness of ignorance. And how do you open someone's eyes who are blind with the darkness of ignorance? With the torchlight of knowledge. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. So we're praying to the founder of all Krishna conscious movement, Rupa Goswami, give us mercy. Then we pray to all Krishna and his associates. Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Padakamalam, Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam, Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam, Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Sri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. And we pray to Krishna. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate, Gopisha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute. And we pray to Radharani. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Then we pray to Lord Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vetikadara Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. We pray to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo. And we pray to Krishna and Radharani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. And that last verse means that due to the mercy of Guru, even a blind man can see, and a lame man whose legs don't work can cross the mountains. Thank you all for attending the Srimad Bhagavatam class. And thank you all those who are online. Actually, it's my great fortune to be able to give the class. I'm very happy to have the opportunity. Although I'm wondering where some devotees are. I see Jainand is on lunch, but he's not here. Okay, Kanagopal is using the restroom. Sham, can you text Arjuna Nanda and make sure that the BYS boys know that they're on breakfast? It says here breakfast cooking. Let me check the schedule again. Breakfast cooking, yeah. Well, even if it was just the 4 walls, I'm still very grateful because this is a really super excellent verse, and everyone that's missing it is really missing out. And I was really happy to read it and read the purport and do some studying. And so many devotees have given class on this verse, and I even got the chance to find a class that my Guru Maharaj gave on this. And I've also researched and found so many wonderful shlokas that I've never seen before. And so I'm going to try to reveal all of that to you, and hopefully it's for the pleasure of all the devotees. And before I begin, especially Siddharam Maturasini Mataji, senior devotees to me, and Srila Prabhupada, and all the Vaishnavas that are assembled that we can't perceive, but they're always with Krishna, and Krishna is here, Radha Govinda is here. May they please offer their choicest blessings, and because I really need them. And all the devotees that are maybe technically younger than me, also please pray for me, because your blessings are just as important, even though we may seem on a different level. We're all just one step away of getting Krishna's mercy. And as we'll hear in this verse, even a guru can get helped by their disciple. So I think it's there, right? 4, 12, 13, 33. Iti vyavisitam tasya vyavasaya surotamo darshayam asatur devim puroyanena gachatim. Iti vyavasitam tasya. Michael, can you please repeat it? Vyavasaya sarotamo darshayam asantur devim puroyanena gachatim. Okay. Thank you. This is Punya Shravana Kirtana. It's auspicious to hear, but there's also more that I have to say. But Mataji, do you want to say the verse? You cannot see it. Okay, let's see with your ears. So, also before I speak further, I also, Hansarupa and all the devotees watching from online can also please give me the blessings that I can speak in according with what Srila Prabhupada would appreciate. Iti, thus, vyavasitam, contemplation, tasya, of Dhruva, vyavasaya, understanding. Yeah, Jayadvaita Swami, I'm pretty sure he is also hearing this class, so hopefully I meet his high expectations. Sura Uttamo, 2 chief associates, Darshayam Asatuhu, showed to him, Devim, exalted Suniti, Pura, before, Yanina, by airplane, Gachatim, going forward. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The great associates of Vaikuntha Loka, Nanda and Sunanda, could understand the mind of Dhruv Maharaj, and thus they showed him that his mother, Suniti, was going forward in another plane. The great associates of Vaikuntha Loka, Nanda and Sunanda, could understand the mind of Dhruva Maharaj, and thus they showed him that his mother Suniti was going forward in another plane. This incident proves that the Shiksha or Diksha Guru who has a disciple who strongly executes devotional service like Dhruva Maharaj can be carried by the disciple even though the instructor is not as advanced. Although Suniti was an instructor to Dhruva Maharaj, she could not go to the forest because she was a woman, nor could she execute austerities and penances as Dhruva Maharaj did. Still, Dhruva Maharaj was able to take his mother with him. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj also delivered his atheist father, Hiranyakashipu. The conclusion is that a disciple or an offspring who is a very strong devotee can carry with him to Vaikuntha Loka either his father, mother, or Shiksha or Diksha Guru. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, if I could perfectly deliver even one soul back home, back to Godhead, I would think my mission, propagating Krishna consciousness, to be successful. The Krishna consciousness movement is spreading now all over the world, and sometimes I think that even though I am crippled in many ways, if one of my disciples becomes as strong as Dhruva Maharaj, then he will be able to carry me with him to Vaikuntha Loka. Wow, such an amazing purport. So any questions? So Prabhupada here is a perfect example. If you're ever wondering like how to follow, what to do, how to feel in a certain situation, we can always just turn to Prabhupada and he's always going to give us such a perfect example. And here he's teaching us a lot of amazing things, and he's showing us his amazing level of humility. One of the main things I want to talk about, 2 things I want to talk about, is the relationship of Guru and also about propagating Krishna consciousness, which are like the 2 themes of this purport. So the Guru is very important in one's life. Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. When we're going through life struggling, Krishna says all the living entities are struggling very hard with their 6 senses, which include the mind. Always trying to get happiness, but never quite finding it, or if we get it, then it's taken away and our sadness is even more. So that finally, when they get in contact with Krishna's representative, then that struggle is finally, it's stifled. Its end is marked. Then it's over. It's the beginning of the end for the struggle traveling all throughout the different universes. And so the representative of Krishna, or Guru, there's different categories of Guru. And Krishnadas Kaviraj gives us in the first chapter of Lila, he tells us about there's instructing spiritual masters, Shiksha Gurus, And then there's initiating a spiritual master, the Diksha Guru. And so the Shiksha Guru will establish a formal relationship with Krishna, and the Shiksha Guru will instruct. And nowadays, in ISKCON, there is not such a strong culture of Shiksha Guru, which if we want our movement, because a spiritual movement is only spiritual as the adherence to it, because a movement or an organization is just a material thing. So Prabhupada started it, and it became very powerful because Prabhupada was pushing it. And so if we follow Prabhupada's instructions, then as the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we can also help spiritualize the movement and make it stronger. And the beginning of the Krishna Consciousness movement, I guess you could say, is when Krishna advented, and there's always been some sort of Krishna Consciousness movement. But in terms of the form we see it now, like I was saying, Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale, who has established the Mano Bhishtam, the innermost heart's desire of Lord Chaitanya on this world. Sri Rupa Goswami has established the innermost heart's desire of Sri Chaitanya. He's established Krishna consciousness here, and we're offering obeisances. So back then, 500 years ago, and a little after, during Krishnadas Kaviraja's time, during the time of Shamananda Pandit and Srinivasacharya, there was a little bit different of a relationship between the Shiksha and Diksha Gurus. Right now it's more Diksha Guru centered, and of course the Diksha Guru can also be the Shiksha Guru simultaneously. But as we'll hear in the past, the relationship was a little more balanced, and I think there's a lot of benefits from that. And even in 1976, 1977, Prabhupada is encouraging. So now I want some of my sannyasi disciples, they should take up responsibility to travel and preach and encourage all the devotees and instruct them. So Prabhupada is encouraging, he's emphasizing the importance of Shiksha. Prabhupada's all their Diksha Gurus, he's also their Shiksha Guru. Prabhupada's the Shiksha Guru of everyone in ISKCON. As soon as someone touches a book, Prabhupada says they've been initiated. They've been initiated into the process of gaining knowledge about Krishna. And they've in some small way, they accepted Prabhupada as their Shiksha Guru. Of course, in Dhruva's example, his first Shiksha Guru was his mother. And so the Gurus, when we finally come in contact with Guru, the representative of Krishna, it stops our churning through the material world. So if she didn't prompt him, we've heard it now many times, hopefully we know it. Dhruva Maharaj was upset, he couldn't sit on the lap of his father. So he asked his mother, what should I do? I'm so upset, I want to get this thing that's unattainable, but I can do nothing else. So she said, if you want something unattainable, you can go to the Lord, he can give you anything. Okay, how do I get the Lord? Well, the sadhus, they go to Braj, they go to the forest, and they do tapasya there, they pray, they do something there. So you can go and you can search for God there. So if she didn't prompt him, then we wouldn't be hearing about Dhruva Charita here for the last month or two. We wouldn't be, no one would know about Dhruva Maharaj. He would have just stayed angry, he would have stayed home, and it wouldn't have been wonderful at all. Of course, that was with his Shiksha Guru, and there's different names for different kinds of Shiksha Gurus. Sometimes they're called the Pata Pradaksha or the Vartma Pradaksha Guru, the one who shows you the path. And indeed, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj is talking about that his Guru Chintamani, it's a verse from Bival Mangal Thakur, explaining the importance of Shiksha Gurus, that Bival Mangal Thakur struggled so hard to go to his girlfriend's house. I think, have we all heard the story? grandsons of Shobhamai gave a very nice drama like about a month and a half ago. Do you know the story of Bimal Mangal Thakur? Okay, so summarize it. Bimal Mangal Thakur had a girlfriend, in other words, a prostitute. That's in the Vedic way, there's no such thing as girlfriends. Prostitute that he was very attached to. And he wanted to see her so bad that one day, although it was completely storming out, he went out at night to see her. He had to go over the river, which was completely flooded, and he ended up grabbing onto something he thought was a plank of wood. Actually, it was a crocodile, an alligator. I'm not sure what ones are in India. Oh, a dead body. And then he tried to go and climb the fence. He grabbed something, he thought it was a branch, it was actually a snake. And so he's going through all these things. Finally he gets in there, and finally he meets his girlfriend. And his girlfriend is saying, like, why did you go through all this trouble just to see me? Like, you're so attached to me that it's stupendous. If you were as attached to Krishna as you were attached to me, you would go back home, back to Godhead for sure. You would be a pure devotee for sure. And it struck him. It's like, dang, she's right. So he goes out, and he made a famous book called Krishna Karnamrita, which Lord Chaitanya, that's one of the select literatures that he decided to bestow upon the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava community. And one of the first prayers in there, usually before we start, just like before I started talking, before Prabhupada starts any book, before he starts talking, before any Vaishnava starts actually trying to say something, they always make some prayers it's called Mangalacharan, to make an auspicious situation. And part of those prayers is giving glorification and thanks to those who have connected them. And so Bimal Mangal Thakur is glorifying Chintamani as his guru. And that's in one of the first verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita, describing the importance of Shiksha Gurus. So Shiksha Gurus are important. Of course then, but without the Diksha from Narad Muni, Dhruva Maharaj also we wouldn't hear so much about him. He wouldn't be able to find God. So his mother said, go to forest, and then Narad Muni would instruct him, okay, so you do this mudra, you take this mantra, you make this murti, you do dhyan and sadhana like this, and this is what you're instructed to do. And he gave him full instructions of how to perform his sadhana. So we have the Shiksha Guru, the Diksha Guru. There's another type of guru that I didn't mention, but let's see if anyone can think about it. No, that means fat cow or something like that, guru. Like if a guru just takes food from the disciples and money, but doesn't give them proper instruction and connection with Krishna, then they're no better than a guru or a fat cow that you just feed all your scraps and stuff. The Chaita Guru, the guru in the heart, the Adi Guru, the real guru. Actually, there's only one guru. We say there's two types of gurus and everyone can have unlimited Shiksha Gurus and only one Diksha Guru. But actually, every single guru that there ever was or ever will be is just a representative of the original guru, of Krishna trying to instruct that person. So we all have a connection with Krishna eternally because we're all parts and parcels of Krishna. Krishna is in our heart. So Krishna is also a part in it. He's always trying to tell us what to do. And the problem is, he's always trying to tell us what to do, but there's a signal in our heart, and it's not loud enough, and our mind is so overwhelming, and our mind is just telling us all these things, and we think our mind is our guru. We think that we are our mind, and that our mind knows best, and so we just listen to whatever our mind says, and we completely tune out what real guru is trying to tell us. And so therefore, Krishna is so powerful. If he can't contact us from within, he manifests himself externally as guru, as Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. It means he inspires those, he directly directs those. Sometimes he directly manifests himself as an avatar to bring that person so they can understand. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, when we just calm our mind down, when we shut our mind up, when we actually are able to control our mind a little bit, then the super soul is already reached. The Chaita Guru is already reached. When we turn the volume down of the mind, then we can actually hear the message of Guru. But generally, we need the external Guru. So we understand that the external manifestation of Krishna Kripa Sri Murti is Guru. It's the form of Krishna's mercy. We were praying, oh Krishna, please help me. Who needs Krishna's help? Who wants Krishna's help? Yeah, we all live in the temple, so we've decided that. But many people, they don't even know that they need it. They don't even know that they don't know that they need it. But they're struggling and they're crying out to Krishna, and Krishna knows what they need it, and Krishna is hearing them in their heart. So Krishna can answer them. Okay, you want help? Okay, I'll send my messenger. I'll send my representative to help. If you're crying out and you say, oh king, I need help, and then the king sends his guards to help you, or sends his messenger, or sends someone to help you, then that's non-different than the king. So we're understanding, we sing every morning, Shaksha Dadit Vena Samasta Shastre Ruktasta Tabhav Yata Eva Sadbi. That Shakshad Hari, non-different than God. The Guru is non-different than God. Well, the Guru, they'll never say that they're God. They'll always present themselves as a servant of the servant 1,000 times. Das anu das anu das anu das. That they'll never say that I am God, but factually, they're an external manifestation of God's mercy. Even if Krishna himself comes as Guru, he comes as Lord Chaitanya, he doesn't accept that he's God. He's playing the part of a servant because he's showing how to actually play the role. And there's a verse also in the Adi Leela first chapter. There's so many amazing verses in that first maybe 50, 60 verses. It's a lot of really powerful things. Yadyapi amar guru chaitanya das tatape jani ami tanhara prakash. That we know that our guru is a servant of Mahaprabhu, but also he's a prakash. He's a prakash avatar. He's an external manifestation of Krishna. So it's a team effort. Krishna is trying to get to the hearts of the conditioned souls, and he's sending Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus and instructing them within as Chaita Guru. Yesterday there was another verse about Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru, and one of the devotees I was sitting next to was, I wish they were here, but I think they're working or doing something, going to school. They were saying, oh, the Diksha Guru is more important, which that made me think. I think that's an indication of the current culture in our society, which is not proper. In Adi Leela verse 47 in the first chapter, Prabhupada is saying in the purport, there's actually no difference between Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. There's no difference between shelter-giving Supreme Lord and the initiating and instructing spiritual masters. If one foolishly discriminates between them, he commits an offense in the discharge of devotional service. So Krishna is trying to connect with in so many different ways, and we think, oh, this one is more important, that one's not as important. No, they're all important. The best Shiksha Guru is already in our heart, but we can't hear that. So Krishna is trying to get to us, to get the messages from Super Soul to reach us. So he's sending the external things. And many times a disciple would come to Prabhupada and ask, oh, is this a good idea? And Prabhupada said, yes, that's a good idea. That's inspired by Krishna. And other times he said, no, that's Maya. You're in Maya. Get out of Maya. That's just your mind speaking. That's not Chaita Guru speaking to you. So he's trying to show them how to discriminate. Ultimately, when we get to that level, when we're Madhya Adhikari, when we become Uttama Adhikari, when we become a pure devotee, we're going to be able to understand this is what Krishna is saying, and so this is what I should do. And whatever the mind is saying, we'll be able to ignore. Or even better yet, the mind is just hankering to know what Krishna is saying. But if we think there's some sort of difference between the Shiksha Guru and the Diksha Guru, like someone puts a rope down, and then we see that we're stuck in a hole, we're starving to death. We see a rope come down, and someone's there, it's like another person starts explaining, okay, you have to tie the rope around, and then they'll pull you out. and we're like, no, this person put the rope down, I'm not going to listen to you, then we're going to be stuck down there. That would be considered foolishness. And alternatively, if we think, they put the rope down and we're stuck in the hole, and we say, can you please come down and tie the rope around my stomach? Because I don't want to do it. That's also, we have to do our part. It's like a team effort. Our part, Krishna's part, Guru's part. And so we shouldn't turn away from Krishna when he sends his help. Krishna is always trying to instruct us in many forms, and if we're humble, we can actually realize it. So again, Prabhupada, perfect example of humility. He's the Acharya for the next 10,000 years. He's representing all the Vaishnava paramparas coming through him. He's like so powerful, doing things that are unimaginable even to any of the previous Acharyas. He's done something impossible and amazing. But when he was explained, oh, Swamiji, you're sitting down too much and praying too long, you should get up and do some physical activity, then he accepted it. He accepted a good instruction. His disciples were like, oh, how dare you talk to Prabhupada like that? And maybe they were right in their thinking, but Prabhupada was humble, and he could say it, he could understand, yes, Krishna's speaking to me through this person's instruction. They're right, I should get up and do something. And he started the morning walks, which he said, a few things are keeping my health: my Ayurvedic medicine, my massage, and my morning walks. That's what he said kept him on the planet for as long as he could. Otherwise, at the beginning, on the boat over, he was finished, more or less. 2 heart attacks at 70 years old. I don't know the statistics. We could look at the statistics, but I'm sure it's not very promising prognosis that, oh, you just had 2 heart attacks, now you're going to start a whole worldwide movement. So Prabhupada was humble, able to, that we should try to accept what Krishna is trying to explain to us. And that's the purpose of Guru. And then another function of Guru is to be a via medium to Krishna. So we're supposed to be a servant of the servant. The Guru is supposed to be a servant of the servant. And Krishna is sending all his devotees here to help us. And those devotees are taking all kinds of risks to spread Krishna consciousness. Like, just think about Srila Prabhupada, how much risk he took. And so those that assist them are very pleasing to Krishna, because Krishna is seeing that this devotee is just doing so much. He's my PR department, just hyping up my name and fame to everyone and glorifying me, increasing my servants. But I want to try to do something for him. But he is so dedicated to serving me that I can't, every time I try to serve him, my devotee won't let me serve him. But then if someone else comes along and becomes the disciple of such a devotee, that becomes a servant of such a devotee, they're accomplishing what seemingly Krishna can't accomplish. So Krishna is so pleased with that devotee. On the other hand, if someone's thinking, oh, I'm actually a big devotee and I don't need a guru, and they don't accept a guru, that's like completely offensive. If Dhruva was looking for Narayan in the forest, where's Narayan? Where's Narayan? And the Krishna's like, okay, I'll send Narad Muni there. Narad Muni's, okay, you should do this. Dhruva's, no, I don't need anyone's help. Then Dhruva Maharaj should still be in the forest fasting, and we'd never hear about him. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Letta Bija. So Guru is Krishna's mercy. And so one function of Guru is to be a conduit for Krishna's instruction, for Krishna's mercy, and another is to connect the disciple to Krishna, to establish the relationship with Krishna. But it's a very serious task. The Guru commits to establishing the relationship, commits to be responsible for mistakes made by the disciple, and commits to have to come back lifetime after lifetime, if however long it takes the disciple to get their act together. The Diksha Guru is a very serious obligation. And therefore, in the past, many disciples actually didn't accept disciples. Many Vaishnavas didn't. We hear about many famous stories, like Lokanath Goswami made a vow, I'm not going to accept disciples. Saranga Thakur made a vow, I'm not going to accept disciples. But then Saranga Thakur was told in a dream, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that he should accept disciples. Mahaprabhu was telling him. So he said, okay, when I wake up, the next person that I see, I'll give them initiation, and that'll be my one disciple, and I'll follow your instructions, because I'm not going to disobey you. And so, of course, the famous story, who knows the famous story of Saranga Thakur? There was a person, the first person he takes his bath, he sees a dead body floating. He just goes, he whispers the mantras, he whispers, okay, now you're initiated, and then the person wakes up, and they're literally dead, and they got brought back to life by Saranga Thakur. And I can't remember the name of that devotee, so let me just search really quick. Okay, it was a devotee named Murari who came. And so then there's Lokanath Goswami, who also he didn't want to accept disciples. But then, of course, do we know the story of Lokanath Goswami? Michael? Tell me. But he ended up taking a disciple, which was? Who was it? Who was the one who wrote Guru Puja? Because Guru Puja is talking about Lokanath Lokerajivana. Who wants to help Michael out? Say it louder. Say it again. One more time, 3 times. Narottam Das Thakur ki. So, Narottam Das Thakur wrote Prarthana, which means prayers. And he wrote Prema Bhakti Chandrika, which means the beautiful moonlight of devotion. And that's, some of our acharyas say that's, you just understand those bhajans and you understand it all. So Prabhupada gave us Guru Puja. We call Guru Puja, it's called Guru Vandana. It's the first track in Narottam Das Thakur's hit album, Prema Bhakti Chandrika. And yeah, Lokanath Goswami didn't want to accept disciples, so Narottam Das Thakur agreed, secretly cleaned his bathroom. So if we want to be GBCs, we can take after Narottam Das Thakur and be great bathroom cleaners and actually please the devotees. Otherwise, if we become GBCs and on the gross bodily concept think that we're actually greater than the Vaishnavas and want to control them, then we'll probably get puffed up and not make any spiritual advancement. So we should always try to remain humble. And if we always just remember, we're just a bathroom cleaner. Like even Ayendra, many people say he's such a great Vaishnav, he helped so many people, he revolutionized Kirtan, gave such amazing katha. But he says, I just want to be a GBC in Vrindavan, a great bathroom cleaner. I just want to be known for how he would grab the devotees, oh, you want to join the 24-hour Kirtan party? Please come with me and clean the bathroom. And he would judge the humility of if the devotee would accept. Oh no, I'm a Kirtaniya, that's not my service, I don't want to clean the bathroom. So we should never get puffed up that we're in any kind of powerful service. We're all servants of Krishna, even if we're in the biggest position, even if we're the head of all the GBCs, of all the ISKCON, and all the Gaudiya Mats, and even if we're the President of the United States, even if we're the Emperor of the entire world, we're all just servants of Krishna. It's all going to get taken away at the time of death, and the only thing we're going to have is our service to Krishna and our humble attitude. And if that position causes us to lose that, then that's very bad. Of course, there's service needed to be done for Krishna, so people need to take these positions, but we should always remain in the humble attitude. Like Prabhupada. Prabhupada is literally so powerful, and he's saying, I think that even though I'm crippled, if one of my disciples becomes as strong as Dhruva Maharaj, then he'll carry me to Vaikuntha Loka. Even Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur says, I'm lower than the worms in stool, I'm more sinful than Jaga and Madai. If you just remember my name, you're gonna get sinful reactions and go to hell. Just by remembering my name. That's how lowly he thinks of himself. And if we get Vaishnavata, we get Vaishnav qualities, if we start really hearing from the Vaishnavas, then we can also develop these qualities. And so there's always a help between what our activity is, what Krishna is doing, what the Shiksha and Diksha Guru are doing. And it's a teamwork. And Prabhupada wants this. And so we have an opportunity to help grow. In the past, so many would send their disciples to be trained by a Shiksha Guru. Jiva Goswami was such a wonderful devotee that he took many devotees and would train them up in Shastra and how to preach, how to write, and all the philosophy and all the different ways. And then when they would go out, they would conquer, like Srinivas Thakur or Narottam Das Thakur, or Srinivasacharya, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit. They all went to different places in India and completely spread Krishna consciousness like wildfire because of their instructions from Jiva Goswami. And they not only learned the different books of the acharyas, and they brought them with them, and they were the first book distributors trying to spread the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. When Krishna consciousness started, there was just establishing of the places and establishing of the knowledge, but there wasn't so much spreading it. Like the 6 Goswamis mostly just tried to make Vrindavan on the map. Like they made temples, they established this is where this pastime happened, this is where this thing happened, and they figured out the actual Dham. And they opened it up so it wasn't just a vacant forest that if you didn't have any spiritual qualifications, you would have known what to do. But they made it like a spiritual Disney World, a spiritual attraction that the fallen conditioned souls could be guided by their perfect vision. But in terms of the knowledge that they wanted to spread, Jiva Goswami established the tattvas. In his Tattva Sandarbha, he established the Siddhanta, but then the Siddhanta was then preached far and wide by his 3 disciples. Shyamananda went in Orissa. A lot of the activities that are happening there were really spread by Shyamananda. That Srinivas Acharya went to Bengal in Mayapur, and that area became surcharged a lot because of him. And Narottam Das Thakur also went to Bangladesh. He went to, and they met different kings, they met different people, and preached to them so well that there's many places that whole generations and whole communities are still Krishna consciousness for hundreds and hundreds of years because of them. So we're in ISKCON, we're not even hardly 2 or 3 generations, and it's kind of hard to imagine how powerful their preaching was. So we should take shelter of them. Like Krishnadas Kaviraj, or Prabhupada says in a purport, by accepting the 6 Goswamis as instructing spiritual masters, the author specifically makes it clear that one should not be recognized as a Gaudiya Vaishnav if he is not obedient to them. And then the last part I wanted to talk about, which I'm kind of sad a couple people left. Got a few minutes left. Vrajabasi Gana Pracharka Dana. This is in Vaishnav K. That the wealth of the Vrajavasis, who knows what the wealth of the Vrajavasis is? Who thinks they know? The Vrajavasis, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, of Krishna's eternal abode. What do they consider wealth? Because we go out, we think, we're feeding the poor, we're clothing the homeless, we're giving homeless a home. But who's actually homeless? What is actual wealth? So the Vrajavasis have everything, so what is their wealth? Jayananda, you have an idea? Krishna is their wealth, but it's something what's better than Krishna? Or what does Radharani want? How much love? Less love or more love? She wants more love. But how can she have more love? She gets more servants and people who love Krishna. So the wealth of the Vrajavasis is increasing the servants of Krishna. That's their wealth. That's what they want to do. Radharani's has her servants going out, searching, asking all the people, do you want to serve Krishna? Oh, you look so nice, you want to serve Krishna. Let me take you to serve Krishna. So if we help them, that is our greatest wealth as well. Suniti just told Dhruva that he could find God in the forest. And because of that simple little instruction, she got a golden ticket to get on the Pushpa Vimana, the amazing plane back to Vaikuntha Loka. And Dhruva, because Dhruva was remembering her. Our downside is even though we've tied the rope, we got initiated, we still don't remember Guru. Despite every day, Dhyan Stuvam Stasyaya Sastri Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda. So Dhruva Maharaj is so wonderful, he's remembering his mother. If we're getting on that plane going back to Godhead, are we going to remember, this Namhata person, this book distributor, this temple president, those cooking classes, that Kirtaniya? Are we going to remember any of them that actually connected us, that actually helped us? Are we appreciative of that? Actually, that's, in one sense, as disciples, as servants, that is our wealth. That's what's going to keep us serving and keep us going for our entire life through any obstacles, is our appreciation for what we've actually got. So in helping Guru spread Krishna's glories and increasing Krishna's servants, that's the whole point of this movement. Prabhupada could have stayed in Vrindavan and just done Leela Smarana. He could have started a mission, another Gaudiya Math, that just tries to teach people how to remember Krishna's pastimes. But he took to the mission to satisfy the burning hearts of all those suffering in this world. And Prabhupada tells us in his Vrindavan Bhajan book, these eternally liberated associates of Mahaprabhu who have descended from the spiritual world are always absorbed in pure transcendental remembrance of their lordship, Sri Sri Radha Krishna. The transcendental position of these eternally liberated associates is so spiritually elevated that by simply remembering them, a conditioned soul is freed from all accumulated sins. But, now here's a message for us. If anyone tries to imitate these eternally liberated associates by mimicking their transcendental activities or simply putting an outward show, instead of actually achieving pure devotion, they will be under the tight grips of Maya, and they won't be delivered from bondage. So then the answer is, preach the transcendental glories of Lord Krishna to all the fallen souls from house to house. By Krishna conscious preaching, your life shall become perfect. This is the transcendental instruction of His Divine Grace, Sri Srimad 108 Ashtodarshat Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. So actual residents of the Dham are not attracted to simply sitting in the holy places and separating themselves from devotees to start an independent program, which is always based on false prestige and lack of surrender. What kind of Vaishnava are you, mind, who just wants to sit in a solitary place and chant? You're just going to be attracted to sex and money. The principal symptom of one who is in Krishna consciousness is that he is always absorbed in expanding the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The real wealth is distribution of the holy name to all fallen souls, and thus always in the transcendental consciousness of satisfying the Lord's most cherished desires. Because what does the Lord want? The Lord wants to please His devotees. And what does the devotee want? The devotee wants to increase the wealth of the devotees in Vrindavan, is that they want to increase the servants of Krishna. They want to preach. So there's a little bit more. I kind of got started late because no one was here on the right time. And so I chanted for longer. But it's already 9:01 and I don't want to mess the timing up. So the next time I give class, I'll read some of these wonderful messages from Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, which gave me a lot of enthusiasm when I was reading. And I feel bad that I can't share it with you, but we just didn't make it in time and we're already going over. So, okay, well, everyone that wants to have breakfast, I hope that Arjuna Nanda got the memo and that something's cooked. And if not, then, I got some apples upstairs. We can eat some apples. And Jairati even had bread and she toasted it. She's like the mother of the whole temple. She cares about all of us, so we should try to help serve her if she sees anything or asks us to do anything. So conversely, those who desire to enhance their own temporary importance always remain dissatisfied because they're deflected from the real aim of life, which is to satisfy Krishna. And instead they're trying to satisfy the false desires coming from their own mind. And this is a purport from my Guru Maharaj in Vaishnav K. Vaishnav K is is a poem written by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur about how we can't just chant Hare Krishna by ourselves, and about what Guru wants us to do, what the Vaishnavas want us to do. These prayers are directed to inspire the mind to shed all extraneous desires and focus on the real purpose of life. What is the real purpose? What do real devotees do? Real devotees preach and distribute the mercy of the Lord everywhere, and they should never be compared with those who hanker after personal prestige. Just like the living can never be equated with the dead. Famously, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, those who preach have life. So therefore, those who don't preach are dead. Devotees who give up preaching are actually dead, devoid of any spiritual life. The division between spiritual and material life is distinct and sharp, like a razor's edge. So if our mentality deviates from the desire to serve Krishna even slightly, and we try to desire our own material satisfaction, then immediately we die. And since our material activities, no matter what we achieve, they have no permanent result, then we just revolve around in birth and death. So like material achievements are nothing better than a decoration on the dead body. It's just useless. But the pure devotee, they only desire to become the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. They don't care for anything else. And to achieve that, they're always begging their superiors for mercy, and they're trying to fulfill the desires of their superiors. So Prabhupada knew that Mahaprabhu wanted to spread the movement all around the world. Priti vichi achayata nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar habe moranam. Srila Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, ordered him from the beginning and then the very last instruction to carry the message to the English-speaking countries. So in a humble mood, he brought this, and by a sincere attempt, he found a place in the hearts of people in every country of the world, and taught them, how to take up Christian consciousness. And all his disciples that are actually following his instruction are trying to continue that. And ISKCON is like the material organization trying to manifest that, and we're all trying to be a part of that. So we just have to plug in. And if someone comes up to us and is wondering, why we're doing what we're doing, we may not have such staunch faith in Krishna, a realization of these truths, but we know that that's what Krishna wants, that's what Krishna's servants wants, and we know that at least we're in the position of a servant of the servant. So Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to reflect on Guru and the relationship with the disciple, reflect on what it means to preach and to hear these things that definitely helped me. And let's take some prasadam and nourish our bodies, and let's read something, study something to nourish our minds and our hearts, and then after being nourished, let's go out and try to help people, because everyone else needs a lot of help. We need a lot of help, so we can just imagine how much other people need help. And if we're appreciative of all what Prabhupada gave us, what any Vaishnava ever did for us, then that's how we can, the best way to show appreciation is to tell a friend. And we should learn compassion to try to be the friend of everyone. So if we can actually do that, we can be the friend of everyone. Hare Krishna.